Not going anywhere anytime soon. That's how a Chicago Fire District Chief describes the situation out here on 112th and Michigan. And a large plume of smoke is still billowing into the air over 2 hours after these flames began. But the smoke is clearer than it was when we arrived half an hour ago, meaning this fire is waning. Several ladders are up as crews attack the flames from multiple angles. 52 people shot, including 10 dead. That includes 2 deadly stabbings. All this during Chicago's most violent weekend so far this year. CPD Superintendent Eddie Johnson calling these last 72 hours despicable during a press conference earlier this morning. Chicago Police Superintendent Eddie Johnson expected to speak at 9:30 this morning. He'll be outlining law enforcement's efforts to try and trim down on gun violence following the city's most violent weekend so far this year. 50 people shot, 8 of them killed. 8 people killed. Another 42 were wounded over the weekend here in Chicago. Not 1 but 2 quadruple shootings, a part of that overall number. Police calling many of these incidents gang-related. 8 people killed, another 42 wounded during Chicago's most violent weekend so far this year. A representative of Mayor Lori Lightfoot saying she will be meeting with Police Superintendent Eddie Johnson today to review a report of this weekend's crimes. While it's back to business as usual here at Lakeshore Park, directly across the street from Northwestern's Pritzker School of Law, detectives are telling me they're busy working to decide whether or not that quadruple shooting was in fact connected to a stabbing that occurred around the same time in this same general area overnight. Officers also telling me that overall crime is actually down citywide, but those statistics not soothing for people who call Streeterville home. And at last check, all 4 victims are still in the hospital and still currently in stable condition. Both Northwestern University and Chicago Police confirming for us this evening, Jim, that those victims are neither students at the school or residents of Streeterville. Detectives also reassuring that they believe arrests in regards to that quadruple shooting will be made soon, and it's all thanks to video evidence they were able to collect from area cameras. We're live just outside Lakeshore Park this evening. Eric Cox, CBS 2 News. Jim? The woman accused of killing Ochoa spent days with her newborn son in the hospital after claiming she gave birth to him herself. Ochoa's loved ones are unhappy with Christ Hospital for not doing more to alert authorities sooner, despite several warning signs. Now the idea of changing the law is in the air. But first, the community had to say goodbye to a young woman many believe was taken too soon. At last check, 31 people have been shot across the city in the last 48 hours. Of that number, 5 of the victims now dead, 3 of which were shot and killed at the same location during 2 separate shootings. All this despite a plan that includes nearly 1,200 officers on the streets to boost police presence during this holiday. Cleanup underway at the Abla Robert Brooks Public Housing Complex on Chicago's Near West Side. The empty bottles of alcohol, evidence of a night many in this neighborhood say they'll never forget.
Look at the ground. I've been in this neighborhood since I was 9 years old.
Bridget Williams was raised in these row homes residents call the Village. She says Saturday night was the neighborhood's annual reunion party and hundreds of people showed up. Officers called out multiple times to disperse the large crowd, according to Chicago police.
Every year they come out and they have a good time.
But that good time came to an end a little after 1:30 Saturday morning. 2 people shot at the party. A 27-year-old man killed.
This is sad. This is really sad.
Less than 5 hours later, more shots fired at the same location. Over 50 evidence markers spread out across the scene. Chicago police confirming a Tech-9 semi-automatic machine gun was used in this incident that left 5 wounded and 2 men dead.
He loved his two daughters loved him.
A woman who wishes to remain anonymous tells CBS 2 one of the victims is Antoine Green, a 27-year-old father of 2 young girls who will live the rest of their lives without their dad.
I wish he could come back. I'm really gonna miss him.
Green's murder is one of 5 so far this Memorial Day weekend in Chicago. The city's new mayor, Lori Lightfoot, at the scene of a deadly shooting in the 400 block of West 77th on the city's south side a little after 10 Saturday night. Officers making over 40 gun-related arrests in the last 48 hours and recovering over 100 firearms.
I don't know what to say to the young people today. Tell them don't carry a gun, but the guy standing next to him got a gun.
Chicago police are still exploring a possible tie between those two shootings that occurred at that neighborhood reunion party. I'm told that at this time, 4 people of interest are being interviewed by detectives. We're live outside Chicago Police Headquarters this evening. Eric Cox, CBS 2 News. We are still here on Othello and Newman, one of the worst standing water situations we've seen so far during our time here on Naperville's south side. This is in the Ashbury subdivision. As you can see, there's a car over there that is most likely totaled as we speak. That's a silver Mercedes. Some of the residents here telling me they saw that the water was even higher at one point, Erica, above the exhaust pipes. He is not alone. There are several other residents also getting their hands and feet dirty out here, Erica, trying to clear these drains. And I can tell you right now, there's mosquitoes all over the place. This is not a fun task they have underway out here, yet and still they are doing it, and they are not alone. We have been block by block, and there's been people just like this putting forth this same effort. Now, unfortunately, it's too late to save some, as we see with that car, but again, this is something they're trying to do to make certain people will be able to pass through these roads once again following the severe weather.
The video is heart-stopping. Young children driving off-road vehicles on the Dan Ryan Expressway. That's right, the expressway. A driver was so shocked, he shot video of the dangerous drive. Tonight, we've learned the vehicles were taken from Maggie Daley Park and finally stopped way south near the Bishop Ford Freeway and 130th Street. That's around 18 miles. And that's not all we've learned. CBS 2's Eric Cox has been digging into what happened. And Eric, police are getting closer to finding these kids.
Good evening, Erica. They are trying, both Chicago PD and Illinois State Police, putting detectives on this case. Meanwhile, I'm learning tonight that those 2 utility vehicles were stolen from Sunbelt Rentals here in Pilsen, and they were more recently in the possession of underage offenders. Hey, what are you guys doing driving, man?
They were around 10 years old.
Around 10 years old and on the expressway.
What are you doing, man?
Omar Orozco is the voice you hear talking to the preteens trekking along the Bishop Ford Expressway early Saturday morning.
They were going like 60 miles an hour, which was slow because people were going and passing them by. So they were getting left behind, and they were on the passing lane, which was dangerous.
Their dangerous drive captured on camera.
I was nervous. I didn't know what to do, so I took out my phone and started recording.
Orozco's video viewed more than 4 million times in less than 4 days.
There was one with 2 kids and one with 1 kid. And I was shocked. I saw them and I was like, is this real? Is this real life?
Real life and a real issue for Sunbelt Rentals. The company owns the vehicles seen in the video.
I should have called the police, but I didn't.
But someone else did. Chicago police tell CBS 2 a pair of Polaris Ranger utility vehicles, just like the ones in Orozco's video, were stolen during an event at Maggie Daley Park in the Loop between Friday morning at 8 and Saturday morning at 12:30. The stolen UTVs cost anywhere between $10,000 and $16,000 each.
They said they were going home, that's all. They were going home. One of them was texting on the phone. The other one was squinting home, and that's it. They were focused on going home.
One of the vehicles was recovered near an exit ramp of the Bishop Ford Expressway on the city's south side. The other still out there. At this time, Chicago police telling me no one is in custody. We're live in Pilsen tonight. Eric Cox, CBS 2 News.